Okay, characters are top and leading story. Um, with the introductions of the last few months of Arrow and then The Flash, CBS is now doing Supergirl. This is where we would insert cricket noise now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about what's going on with Melissa Benoist playing Kara. She was in Glee, and so she's going to be playing the lead of Supergirl. What I was focusing on was a couple of these new cast members. I recognize one of them from Doctor Who.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, actually, the gentleman, he's a black actor.
David Harewood?
Yes. He was in The End of Time as one of the villains who found the fix-it-all machines that turned the planet the Master used to turn everybody into the Master Race.
Oh, yeah, the father of the young princess thingy bullshit lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, I recognize him.
Yep, so...
Also from Homeland and the Foregone Selfie.
Yeah, exactly. There's a disaster. Sorry, Karen. You just got roped into that one. All those fans know that show is not doing so well. But, yeah, so I also heard that Helen Slater and Dean Cain are now on board.
Yeah.
So they're giving some homage to the original Supergirl and Superman's history.
Well, I was a fan of Dean Cain and the Lois and Clark show, so I think it's kind of cool that they're bringing in Dean Cain. The old Supergirl movie.
What can you say? I mean, it was cheese then, and it's cheese now. I mean,
well, I don't know. CBS has done really good with The Flash and Arrow, so I am not. I mean, I'm willing to hold my breath for an episode to see what they've got, because they've done pretty good so far. It's not like
excuse me.
It's not like the WB's Smallville.
No.
And it's not like the Fox's Gotham, which I'm still into, but I don't think it's the same quality as CBS's shows.
Yeah, I think CBS has had, they've lived up to their expectation of introduction.
Yes.
Of supporting characters.
Agreed.
Whether you get the Atom showing up, or you end up with Brandon Routh as the Atom.
Yeah.
I thought, what?
But I like Brandon Routh. He's an okay actor, so that's. I didn't think that was a bad choice.
Changed. I changed my attitude about him from Superman when I saw him in Scott Pilgrim as the super villain. Yeah. My attitude changed.
My attitude with him changed with Dylan Dog.
Oh, Dylan Dog.
I like that one. That one too.
Yeah. So he's pretty cool. So I'm glad they're doing something with him in that capacity. But no, I think that they're actually allowing characters like Firestorm, show up with when you normally wouldn't actually, been given privy to that type of information or to the development of the story, because I don't think people are ready for that type of technical aspect for it to stand alone. Now, as part of the big group, it's doing a great job. Because if you actually go back and look at the characters from the beginning of The Flash, we now have Mr. Freeze. We have Gorilla Grodd coming on the scene.
You mean Captain Cold?
I'm sorry. There's a freeze gun in there somewhere.
That's like, wait, Mr. Freeze is Batman.
Yeah, I take that back. It was Captain Cold. But then you ended up with characters like Weather Wizard right off the bat, from the villains. But then you see all these other characters, even Panabaker, who plays the female scientist who's trying to help him deal with all this. Her other alter ego persona is Killer Frost, which is a villain of Firestorm.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't know what's going to happen, Or the guy who plays Paco, he's like Vibe from the 80s Justice League, with street breakdancing and everything. So they've really developed a wide variety of play and interplay. And I think that's what's impressed me more than anything. That's what I liked about the fact that they're trying this now with Supergirl. like you said, we'll give it a shot. We'll give it a shot. You know.
I mean, they've done good so far, so they've got a good track record.
Yeah. Until they actually allow Constantine to put on Dr. Fate's helmet.
You know, that ended.
I know.
There's talk that it may not be coming back. I thought they did pretty good.
Yeah.
I actually sent a letter of plea, hoping. But sorry, don't want a tangent.
No, that's okay. Yeah, it's kind of depressing. It was actually a really good series.
I agree.
Okay, we'll take a break right here for a second and more on the loss, or temporary loss, of Constantine. Okay, now that was short and sweet. Now we're back to next C, which is comics. Big news for those 80 Rockers fans. Big Hair is not lost. Well, it shouldn't be lost. They're doing a live adaptation of Jim and the Holograms from the cartoon.
Didn't they do that a few years ago? Oh, no, that was Josie and the Pussycats.
Josie and the Pussycats, yeah. This one is probably not going to be any better. But
took the words right out of my head.
Yeah, but what can I say? It was, them singing all the same songs and over for one season. That's not, nobody understands that. There was only so many shows, and they proceeded to beat America over the head with it on Saturday morning cartoons and making feminists and girl power the ultimate wave of the future. Considering all they were concerned about were clothes and guys and who was sleeping with who.
And makeup.
Well, that's true. That's true. So, heavy feminist issues, from my understanding. But did have another piece of interesting news, which actually made national coverage in print newspaper, even the New York Times, and on television. That was Selena Kyle's sexuality was confirmed as being bisexual in the comic books. The only reason I mention that is the character has replaced several of the ones in the Gotham as a crime boss. So when you see her drawn, it's not always the Selena Kyle in the Catwoman outfit. Now she's in a business suit with a long whip, and has those catty encounters. But with one of her minions, who also is doubling, I guess, as her female love interest, and is kind of like a recon assailant or assassin. They actually brought up specifically the development of the character. That there were going to be lots of people confused as to why. But they said just watch the books, watch the release of the story, and you'll understand this particular development, a little more.
I am surprised that people are surprised at this because, I've been a Batman comic fan for a long time, and Catwoman for a good long time has basically been a female rights character. She's been a very strong female character in the Batman universe. It actually doesn't surprise me that the character is bisexual. Not that it matters either way, but it doesn't surprise me with as much sexuality as poured off of this character in the last 30 years.
Yeah,
it's no surprise to me. But you have your stuck-up a-holes that
Well, I think what the people that are surprised and people that are suddenly paying attention to what's going on, they haven't paid attention to these characters. There've been a small niche group of the part of America and abroad that even follow the story development of these characters. Mm. And so when someone suddenly brandishes that out and you venture past TMZ or Ain't It Cool News or Rotten Tomatoes off the web where they've made commentaries about it, then it's, oh my, that's what's being discussed these days? And so you get this ultra-conservative reaction to something that, A, the rest of us already knew about it, and B, what's the point? So it doesn't matter. I mean, yes, it's interesting to actually see them put that piece in the news. We as geeks and nerds and collectible aficionados and comic book fans and movie, oracles that want to know all and see all and hear all are kind of laughing about it the whole time. It's like, oh, you're just now getting that? We've known that for decades, That's how these little undertone titterings and double entendres were played.
I thought it was implied, for a while.
Exactly.
But
so that's why, you see that in the New York Times, and that's the moment of news when a comic book character is now the national, take, from some